So Micron really seems to be a perennial laggard. Was there any signs of life in this company that demand is going to come back and pricing is starting to come back and the earnings power of Micron is going to be strong once again in the back half of the year?
So there was definitely good news in the quarter. I mean, we've been cutting numbers for the better part of a year. We've been below the street, and we finally got to the point where we're not cutting numbers anymore. However, the bad news is I think the sell side in general and consensus is thinking too optimistically about the type of rebound Micron is going to have from these levels. First of all, you're coming off of a really bad low. The company lost $4.8 billion last year, including over $1 billion in the quarter last completed. They're still losing money this quarter at that rate, and they're benefiting from having written down inventories to zero cost and then selling them through, to customers. Then that's hundreds of millions of dollars of benefit. So this is a really extreme bottom, and I think from this bottom, you're going into end markets that are still questionable. So, the type of rebound that people have been expecting is getting a bit of a reality check today.
If Micron misses out on the artificial intelligence moment that many other chip companies have been able to capitalize on, what does that spell out for Micron's future?
Yeah, I don't think they're missing out per se, but it's still a very small percentage of sales. I mean, there's a long runway with AI to come. But for now, we're talking about their high bandwidth memory products that are going to sell extremely well next year, but it's still only several $100 million of business against a base of business that's $15 billion. So this is not a big driver yet. But if you wanted to look out 3 to 5 years, yes, they will benefit. But it's not something that's going to get you instant gratification over the next several quarters.
Stephen, I can appreciate a good inflection point, but if one wants to play the AI trade, who cares about Micron? Why not just back up the truck on an NVIDIA pullback and dump your life savings in there?
Yeah, so I don't know about life savings. I would never dump my life savings into one stock. I think what you want to do, and NVIDIA is an expensive stock, which I don't follow personally, is look for cheap ways to play AI. And Micron has a lot of end market risk still to play out. I would look at companies that are benefiting from being extremely good manufacturers, tied well into companies like Amazon and Microsoft. Companies like that's come to mind to me are Jabil and Flex, which are contract manufacturers that have a lot of inherent skills and are serving those markets increasingly fast. I just got off a Jabil call. That's a value stock that has produced 25% annual earnings growth over the last 6 years. In a tough macro, is looking for at least 10% earnings growth this year and next year, while buying back 10 to 20% of their stock the next couple of years, and growing really fast with a range of cloud applications. So I would look for value plays on AI at this point in order to avoid sort of the hype movement that seems to be impacting Micron stock today.